Wait, where's Jay-Z's towel pick? Jay-Z got a new freaking logo, guys. Yeah.
Thank you, Ratul.
Yep.
Shout out OG Master Ratul.
It's pretty good. So now you can spam him for trials runs and logos.
No, don't even say that. I can't believe you just said that.
It's all right. I'll edit it out. No, I won't. It's all right. All right. So you guys ready to go ahead and start?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Hey guys, Scaron here. Welcome back to my channel today for episode 32 of the Last Word podcast. Joined as always by my co-hosts Iconoclast and Jay-Z Basketball.
Sup?
How's it going?
Boom. So episode 32, last week of Destiny 1, last week before Destiny 2, and I just want to say right off the bat, I'm not sure if we'll be doing an episode that first week. Full disclosure, we will be grinding hard because it's a brand new game, making content, going for maximum light level, that garbage. So there may or may not be an episode next week. I'll keep you informed on that one.
We'll also be playing Destiny 2, not just grinding hard.
Wow, bad joke, bad.
That was a joke.
But yeah, but yeah. So the last episode of Destiny 1, and we have a lot of really interesting information. So there wasn't anything really in the weekly update. One thing I wanted to hit on, there are tons of spoilers out there. Now, on my channel, I have covered a couple of them. Some of the very, non-significant ones, things like the Taken King subclasses, we already knew those were coming back, essentially. So the confirmation, in my eyes, wasn't that big of a spoiler. And things like, now we have the entire list of exotics leaked. I will not be covering any of that, and I don't want to know anything about any of that. That is too far. That is an actual part of the game. If it's something like names or titles, for instance, we're going to be talking about the Curse of Osiris DLC that we'll get in December, but all we have there is a name and a title. We don't really know anything about it, so I don't really count that as a spoiler, if that makes sense. Do you guys, Icono and Jay-Z, do you have different definitions, or does that, am I making sense with that, or?
Well, I guess the way I was looking at it is, the DLC. If you have the name, that's cool. The rest is speculation. Sure, there's this whole article from Jason Schreier, and he's got 100% reliability in the past. He's always been right in every prediction he's ever made.
Yeah.
So when he's talking about the stuff that he talks about with Curse of Osiris, I'm tending to believe him, but there's still a possibility that some of it could not, come. So it's still speculation.
Be fair. Jason Schreier, his sources are top notch, man.
Perfect. Yeah, he's never been wrong. So when he was talking about all this, this is all gonna happen. Yeah, I didn't even think for a second that was not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, though, it's still speculation. It's not been confirmed by Bungie, so it's speculation. It's fun to talk about. If it happens, it happens. These other spoilers are something different. There's something else entirely, because this is something that someone pulled out of a strategy guide being sold at GameStop, pictures of areas we're going to be playing in, exotic weapons that we did not know about until today. This is something where it's not even it's not even about spoilers anymore. Now you're just straight up going through
ruining the game.
You're going through the entire game now, to the point where every exotic that I drop, it's not going to be a surprise anymore. And that's different. That's another level of being spoiled that I'm not comfortable with.
Yeah, and
I don't want to talk about it either.
Yeah, that's why I'm not covering any of it. I don't know the names of the exotics. I don't know what they do. The only things I did read was how many strikes there's going to be and stuff. But once again, we're not going to cover that. I know it, but it's something I understand. It could be kind of crossing the line. So we're not going to be talking about it. We will be talking about our thoughts on the Curse of Osiris DLC, the Taken King subclass, them returning, and their different skill path trees, because I don't really see that as a spoiler. A lot of them are very, very, very similar to how they were in Destiny 1, so it's not too spoiler-y in my opinion. But without just talking about it, let's actually get into it. So the first thing, Trials of Osiris and the Raid both got a release date. So it's kind of spot on. Icono, I might be wrong on this, but I believe that a couple of months ago you actually said, it's going to come out the following week, which is really weird because I don't think they've ever dropped a raid on Wednesday. Maybe the original VOG was. But B, when... Oh, I guess I should clarify. The release date for the raid is September 16th, 1 week after the game drops. So it's really weird because that is a Wednesday. That's 1 week. And freaking Luke Smith very specifically said you can kind of look at the last 2 raids and get a feel for when the game is going to drop. And both the previous 2 raids were dropped on a Friday, 3 days after their DLC's release. And this is a week after the DLC's release on a Wednesday. So it's nowhere even close. So
I think he was referencing Vault though, because I believe Vault dropped a week after.
Yes, yeah, Vault did, but he said if you look at what we did with the Rise of Iron and Taken King, that's what he said. So I'm not sure if they just kind of like changed their mind. I guess I don't really know what happened. I'm not really angry about it. I think it's a perfect, it'll give us time. And one thing I like that they're doing, they said they are absolutely not going to be doing any type of teaser or spoiler or anything for the raid. So what we know about the raid now is what we will know about it going into it, which is pretty freaking cool. So that's exciting. And then, do you guys have any thoughts on that? Do you think it'll be hard to hit white level before then? It'll be easy? What do you think?
I don't. Well, here's the difference between this and Wrath or King's Fall. Wrath and King's Fall, we already had gear, we already had levels that we were just padding level. We weren't like starting from scratch. There's a really big difference with Taking King going from level 310 to 335, and what's going to be happening in Destiny 2, where you're going from level 0 to whatever the raid requires. I'm assuming it's going to be over 200. So that means one of two things. Either it's going to be a grind, and it's going to be like almost impossible to have like a good setup going into the raid. Everybody's going to be struggle busing this first.
Like the Taken King, dude. That was rough.
Or the other possibility is that leveling up is just super easy now because they're trying to make the game more accessible. They're trying to make the game, I'm not going to say easier because they're saying flat out that the game's going to be harder, but they want it to be more accessible. So what if, one-to-one infusion is back? What if when you're level 150, what if guns are dropping at 200? Like what if the drop rate is just like super good as far as leveling up? That's a possibility. So
yeah.
So if you start at level 5 power or whatever, that you might be at because I'm not going to stop playing I'm not going to sleep probably until September 8th. So it's possible that literally I'm not planning on sleeping seriously from September 6th to the 8th. So it might be very possible that I might be raid ready come the 8th, because I'm putting that much time into it. And if the drops are that good and that easy, someone who's really going at it hard is going to be ready. Whereas, a casual person can just play a little bit and be ready over the next week. So that's what I think it means. It's either going to be super easy to rank up or it's going to be super hard. I don't really think there's going to be anything in between.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. I think it'll be hard to rank up. I'm not really sure. Maybe the initial barrier isn't that difficult. I just don't know, man. If they've been playing so much and they said after hour 55, there's kind of a wall of hitting it and then you still have so much to do but you're max level, I just have no idea what to say, man.
I think it's gonna be a slow rank up if that's what they're saying.
Yeah,
I'm happier with that actually, because
I'm interested to see how it plays out, man. So that's the rate. I'm so excited for it. It's the theories. There's a couple of spoilers that kind of confirm and deny some things. I don't want to go too far into it because those are pretty spoilery. But the raid's gearing up to be gorgeous. So
dumb.
What?
No comment.
So that's pretty awesome. Then the Trials of Osiris launches on September the 16th, which is the Friday following the launch of the game. So we have exactly a week after, on that Wednesday, you have the raid, and then that Friday, you will then have the Trials of 9, which I believe I just said Trials of Osiris, which was wrong. So yeah, you guys think you're going to be ready for the Trials of the 9 so soon after the game launches?
Well, I'm not going to be playing Trials, so I'll leave this one mainly to Jay-Z.
Not at all?
No, no. Like, well, I don't know, because I was playing in the beta and I was getting good KDs, so I think I like this new 4-on-4 stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll try it, but I'm definitely not going to get sweaty with it. I can't. I'm trying not to take Crucible too seriously this time around.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that since the raid and everything's going to be out before that, maybe getting gear in the raid will help you rank up for Trials.
I would say, yeah, but they've always done in the past where PvP and PvE gear help. Like normally Trials gear helps you more in PvP, and normally raid gear helps you in that raid.
Yeah,
it's more PvP or PvE focused.
I guess I'm saying more like along the lines of light level.
Oh, okay, okay.
And not light level. We got to get that out of our heads. It's
power level.
Power now. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like for power, because like usually the raid, like in that example I said before, where if you're light level 150, we get something drop at 200. It's usually the raid that does stuff like that. The raid is usually pretty liberal when it comes to leveling you up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. I actually can't wait for Trials. Like, I'm not awesome at PvP, but I'm not terrible either. But like, I'm normally a pretty good teammate, so Trials is, as long as we can beat better teams with me, just being a good teammate, I guess.
Yeah, especially now that's 4v4.
Yeah.
Like, that'll matter a lot more than... Yeah. It'll be a lot harder for someone to 1v3 carry kind of thing.
Exactly. So like, it's going to be fun. Like, I'm going to, of course, play a lot of Trials. I didn't think it was going to come out this quickly after, the game came out. I figured there's speculation that it might be the first DLC, named after, Osiris, which that it might be launched with that, kind of like it was with House of Wolves. So
yeah,
it'll be fun. It'll be cool that a lot of end game activities are available after the first week of the launch, pretty much. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, it'll be a good time. I'm gonna enjoy it.
I'm pretty excited. Ratul and I've already reserved them. I was like, you know what? For content, it would be super awesome if I was one of the first people to go flawless. So we're gonna get there, and we're gonna see what the hell the equivalent of the Lighthouse gives you, man. I'm calling it right now though. It's Trials of the 9. We're going to Europa. Saying it. It just makes sense to me.
I don't know. We'll see.
It'd be cool. So yeah, that's pretty much all of that stuff. Crazy, we're so close. We are, in 2 weeks' time, in less than 2 weeks, we will be playing the raid. So once again, just to wrap it up, the raid launches 1 week after the launch of the game on September 13th, and then September 16th, 3 days after that, is when you will be able to play the Trials of Osiris, which is pretty cool. And then, so that's pretty much that. We're going to move on to the subclasses and the new paths for the subclasses in Destiny 2. So if you guys do not want to know anything about Sunbreaker and Stormcaller and Nightstalker, please leave. But if you do, and you want to know about how awesome Hunters are going to be in Destiny 2, stick around. So for the Nightstalker, I do want to start with this because it is my favorite. So the upper path, Jay-Z and Icono. Do you guys know anything about these, by the way?
I'll preface by saying I was at work all day today. I skimmed Destiny Reddit, and I was seeing all the freaking waterfall of spoilers. So I was actually trying not to read stuff. But the one thing I did click was I saw some of the trees for the new classes, but I didn't actually read every single node. So if you can go through it like briefly, just to give me a at least an idea of what it's
like. Yeah, that's what I plan to do. So I was going to do that for everyone. I just wanted to make sure. And you guys are cool with me reading the perks, right?
No. Yeah, so I listened to this YouTuber called Scaro9. He had a video on it. So,
yes. Go watch that. Go watch that.
I mean, I was of course at work as well, so I couldn't pay 100% attention to it, but I was listening to mostly what was in each in the nodes on subclasses. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so the first one is called Way of the Trapper, and this is going to be the Crucible-oriented one, it looks like. So first off, you have Snare Bomb. Throw a smoke bomb from a distance with this melee ability, and it also sticks to walls and floors and stuff. You can use it as a trap. So there's that. The thing is, I think it was a nice compromise because it still seems like it disorients you and all that, but it doesn't, like, you can't just throw it on the ground and wait for people to walk through it. There has to be enemies near it for it to detonate. So that's pretty cool. Then you have Keen Scout, sprint and sneak faster, and gain an enhanced tracker. And tethered enemies are marked for easy tracking. I'm sorry. Whew. And then the third perk is called Deadfall. Your shadow shots are now traps, so that's pretty standard. And then the final one is Vanishing Step, and this one's crazy. Dodging makes you vanish from sight for a short time. So that's kind of insane, right? If you use the Hunter's ability, you will then go invisible. So that's kind of crazy. So what do you guys think about that? Anything overpowered? Sound good? Yeah, what's that? What?
Stupid question.
Yeah.
Right now, the way it works when you level up is you get enough experience into a bubble, and then you pick that bubble, and then you have that bubble, and you can select any of those that you want. If I'm understanding correctly, when you have these paths, so you have a path that has 4 things in it, then you have another path that has 4 things in it. You cannot interchange those. So when you pick a path, you get all 4 of those, and that's it. You can't have any of the other nodes from the other path. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That's the way I'm understanding it. So I guess what my question is, how does leveling up work? So I like if I'm leveling up and I see that there's something in the top path that I want, like that Keen Scout or something, and I unlock that, but then there's something in the bottom path that I like the next time I level up. Can I do that, or because I already unlocked Keen Scout up top, am I stuck now up top forever? Or at least not forever, but at least until I choose to go all in down below. Like,
yeah, I think
they're picking these paths for you, and you have to pick which path you like. Well, what if I like 3 out of one path, but then I want 1 out of the other path?
Yeah, I think a good way to look at it, I get what you're saying, I really do, but I think a good way to look at it is one path is oriented more towards Crucible, and the other is towards like strikes and PvE. And I get that there are some that would be really good mixed together, but I think this way it reduces the things you can do. For instance, now you can't do like, you can't combine a smoke bomb with lockdown. So you can't just throw a smoke on the ground and it lasts for 20 seconds. So I think by restricting it to one path, they're saving all of these exploits that could be used. So does that kind of make sense, I guess?
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing is so many players only used a few nodes for each.
Anyways,
class.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So I mean, it's forcing you to use, because it seems like they're adding some of the ones that we really liked from Destiny 1, and then they're adding some new ones, but then they're keeping some of the old ones that were barely ever used in there. So it's forcing you to choose either or, because they don't want the same 5 loadouts to be chosen for each, or the same 9 loadouts to be chosen for each class. Because I mean, there's always, you pick these when you're in PvE activity, and then maybe you switch them up a little bit in PvP. But
yeah,
I barely ever switch. Like maybe the Bubble Titan or Defender Titan, I switched between weapons and blessing.
The Celestial Nighthawk Hunter for Deadeye and her Over the Horizon. Yeah, exactly. There's like 2 builds for each class, and I think like this, instead of like you having to search through all 40 nodes, it's like, okay, top 1 for Crucible, bottom 1 for Raid. And I think I like this a lot better. And like I said, it stops like dumb exploits and stuff too. So definitely. Oh.
Yeah, but so like on that note though, wouldn't you rather have more customization? Like
not if it's useless customization.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Like if they made the secondary perks a little bit better, I think that would have been a better avenue to go, rather than just like removing most of your customization and giving you 2 choices.
Here's my question. Once you unlock everything in one tree, so you unlock the more offensive tree, and then you unlock everything in the defense tree, when you select, do you select the entire tree and then that's it, or can you pick between trees?
No, I just said, you can only have one tree active at a time.
No, active at a time. Okay, so that means that like, I'm doing the raid right now, and I need to have like all of my passive help my teammate abilities on. I'm gonna pick this path, but then once the raid's done, I'm gonna go play trials, and then I can turn on the other path like on a whim, just with a button.
Yeah, it's like any weapon tree. It's like,
I just wasn't sure like if you had to like spend like some sort of currency.
Yeah, you had to upgrade every time. No, man, that'd be crazy.
Not necessarily upgrade every time, but like they would make it cost prohibitive to do that, to be able to switch back and forth.
I really don't think so. I think that's a dumb move.
I I honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
I would be
I
extremely
don't think
surprised.
they will, because
Yeah.
they want you to enjoy each class, but then like give you different options for each class.
Exactly. It's the way I kind of look at it is like, would you just kind of going back to Jay-Z's point earlier? If someone was like, Jay-Z, here, I have 6 colognes that you can choose between. You know, here's like masculine male, and then you have like dumpster and rotten milk and cottage cheese and stuff. Like, is that really a choice? Like, giving us garbage perks, is that really reducing our or giving us more customization, or is it just making it appear like more customization?
Well, I have another analogy for that too, because like my car has an eco mode, it has a normal mode, and it has a sport mode.
Yeah.
Like I don't always have it in sport mode, but I have it there, you know, if I'm like at a stoplight or something I want to accelerate fast, but then it doesn't get as good a gas mileage, so I switch it over to normal mode when I'm just driving normally. So like having more options and being able to choose between them is much better than not just being stuck to one, and then like, oh, you have to give this mythical currency to switch it back.
Yeah.
That type of thing. So
I think Destiny 2 is a good compromise, because even with just having the 2 choices, for some of the subclasses, it's already like having more like real choices than you did in Destiny 1. So I'm a fan of it. You know, I want to see how it plays, but I tend to go into these things with more of an optimistic outlook, and I haven't seen anything that makes me think I should stop doing that. So I think it'll play fine.
Let me ask you this, because Borderlands had really nice and large skill trees, you know, that type of thing. And
but even with that, there were only like 3 builds per character, though. Like 3 real.
Yes, that is true. But I mean, no, there are some more. Like you could get pieces of armor that would accentuate other builds. But like on Icono's point, I just like having those options, and I'm not a fan of being pigeonholed into one option A or option B. I like to have option A through Z, and then I make the choice between it.
Like I said, I'm sure in the future as well, instead of adding more subclasses and stuff, since we're starting the game off with the base 3, I'm sure we will get more paths in the years to come as well.
I hypothesized that a while ago, because especially if they were going to put the Taken King subclasses in there, it made more sense to add a skill tree each year or add 2 each year or something like that.
And I have a counterpoint. Let me make my weekly Diablo 3 reference.
Oh goodness.
In Diablo 3, you know, they had multiple builds for each character. Then all the builds were good. But then, you know, as the game got harder, you know, only a few builds rose to the top.
That's exactly what happened with Borderlands.
Same with Borderlands, right? But so here's what here's what Blizzard did. Okay, instead of Blizzard saying, okay, well, we're going to give you, you know, a handful of perks and then another handful of perks, and now you got to pick which handful you want. Instead of doing that, what Blizzard did is they did power creep. They went through and they did like a massive buff to like all these other perks that normally, like if there was a perk that did like 1,000% extra damage, they went through and they buffed it so that it did 3,000% extra damage. That's what they did. So like they did that, and they just did it actually last month. They did it again. I'm talking like early on in Diablo 3, but but like right now they just did it again. They just did another power creep where they just went through and they buffed everything because the new class, the Necromancer, came out and it's way OP. So instead of nerfing the Necromancer, they went through and they buffed everything else.
That wouldn't work in a game like Destiny, though. Diablo is not PvP.
That's what I was just about to say. Is that one of my biggest complaints with Bungie and the way that they handle changes that they make to the game, and like, you know, decisions that they make in the game. They always have to worry about Crucible, and then there goes my age-old argument. Why is Crucible affecting my PvP experience? No. The raids are not. You know, in Diablo's like an endless game, right? Destiny is very much not an endless, it will only get harder type of game. I disagree with that wholeheartedly, dude. It's like Destiny has a back wall you can hit, and if you become too strong for those enemies, that's it. In Diablo, you have the dungeons or whatever, where it just keeps on go. You can go forever, and it just gets harder and harder and harder. There is no horde mode for Destiny at all. So I 100% disagree. That would not work in any extent for Destiny. It would become way too easy, way too fast.
And especially, I'm taking Crucible completely out of the equation. Like, if we did the strike right now, right? The strike has a beginning and an end. We know how it's going to play out. We know where all the spawns are. And if you just continuously make us stronger, like, we can already beat the strike in 3 minutes. If you make it so we can beat the entire strike, which is supposed to be some of the hardest endgame content, we can beat it in 30 seconds because we're just so insanely overpowered. Like, that's not what Destiny is, you know? It's not a billion enemy on the screen at a time game. It's a very methodical, you gotta really think about stuff, strategize, and then really learn or like earn your victory kind of thing.
I guess I see what you're saying. I guess what I'm saying is that when it comes to Bungie's overall philosophy on how they do things, they lean on, okay, well, how is it going to affect Crucible? And then the change that they make then affects PvE by proxy.
But there's been things that do the opposite. I mean, it's not... It's
when have they ever made a change for Crucible that positively affected PvE?
No, it's things whenever have they made a change for PvE that negatively affects Crucible. That's what I'm saying.
Has that happened, though? Is that a
yeah,
thing?
The Red Death.
Okay, I guess.
The Red Death, the Black Hammer. Like, it's hard to get perfectionists, but back in year one where everyone and their mother was sniping, it was more likely to happen. Stuff like that. There's been multiple instances with stuff like that. The lack of sniper flinch, that was because too many enemies, like Scions, would hit you and make it hard to snipe the boss. That happened way early in Destiny 1. And then Crucible was ravaged by that, man. Because everyone and their mother could get the easiest headshots off while you were shooting them in the face. It's like, it's a very two-sided thing. Like, yes, Bungie does have to balance with Crucible in mind, but that's because Crucible happens to be half of the game. Right? Like
no, I think it was 70-30 or 60-40. That they did stats on it of
well, it's still a very it's at least a third of the game. It's a big
part of the game. Yeah, I mean, some people just play Destiny for Crucible. So
exactly
when Trials was launched,
freaking Destiny's entire presence on Twitch is the Trials of Osiris.
Well, it saved the game basically. Yeah. A lot of content people.
I mean, look at House of Wolves. House of Wolves would have been a complete disaster if it wasn't for Trials.
What are you talking about, man? Prison of Elders is the best. I want to go ahead.
I really do appreciate the viewpoint.
I
have a problem with always looking at things with blinders on because I'm like predominantly I'm talking like 99% a PvE player.
Yeah, no, and I get that.
It's hard for me to see things from the PvP player's point of view, and I like to hear those viewpoints. I really do, because in my world, PvP they could rip that out of the game, and I would not lose a wink of sleep over it. So
yeah, I mean, but like I said, it's the all-encompassing and even ingrained in the lore. The Crucible has a huge purpose and stuff. So I mean, there's all of that, but I just want to kind of take a second and answer some community questions that we got regarding the subclasses, which is weird because I don't know how the hell we got over here, but I'll answer a few of these and then we can take a look at the Stormcaller. Sound good?
Yep.
Okay, so I asked what they thought about the new subclass perks, and Casual Otaku said he's kind of 50-50 about them. He said he was happy because Arcstrider seems really good, but now that they've brought the Taken King subclasses back, he'll probably just use Night Stalker. And then he says as soon as he gets it, he probably won't even touch the other two subclasses, which I can kind of relate to that. It doesn't seem like it'll be crazy good in Crucible. I'll still use probably Gunslinger for Crucible. But I definitely agree, like, now that Night Stalker's back, that will be my class predominantly. And I don't think the same thing about Sunbreaker. We'll get into the perks, but I still think Sentinel's going to be better than Sunbreaker. And I still think Dawnblade is going to be better than Arcstrider. But we'll get into those. Or, excuse me, Stormcaller, rather. They've all got really similar names. So I see where he's coming from, especially with the Hunter. The Hunter's always had a problem where Night Stalker is just such a good class. You know, but we'll get into that. And then, let's see, I think someone else said something. Yeah, Wilhelm just asked, based on this, what will your first classes be? I just want to, I don't know if I've affirmed this, but now that Night Stalker is confirmed, Hunter will 100% be my first class, because I will be grinding the heck out of that for the raids. So, there's that. What about you two? Has this leak changed anything, or is JC still going to be the Warlock and Icano still going to be the Titan?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, my heart's always been with the. I was always wanted to be a hunter. I mean, I was a hunter main in Destiny 1. So I don't know. Perfect world is that I would start with my hunter. And if I did start on my hunter, I guess I would work on Gunslinger, because Luke Smith had this video that just came out. I don't know what it came out on, but
it was Wired. It was YouTube.
Yeah. Okay. I was watching that video. He was talking about this class tree that you could pick for Gunslinger, where it's like it'll be the single best orb production in the game, and that's intriguing to me because the Gunslinger has always been like the most selfish, class to play as.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's going to be probably the most helpful is just mind blowing to me, and that's the kind of player I am. I like to have like healing things that can heal my teammates and stuff like that. So any way that I can help my team, I like that stuff. So yeah, I'll probably end up being a hunter, or I'll be a Titan main. If I do the Titan main, I'll do Sentinel.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Warlock is going to be the last I play.
So
Warlock's just isn't looking good for him.
Did anybody else get excited about how they're gonna make agility, armor, and recovery more viable?
Well, for every class too. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's what I got most pumped up that he was saying. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna main the Warlock still. I think the Warlock has great utility, just like the Titan, and now I think all the classes might have utility now, based off of that. I mean, the Warlock's special ability is to put down a healing or damage rift. So
yeah,
I mean, you can't really beat that, and the Titan puts up a wall. So those two, just like with their secondary abilities. But if the hunter can generate those orbs, and then on top of that, or the bow can give you extra damage or whatever, they're going to become, because the hunter was my last played class in PvE activities, just because they were squishy, A, and B, they weren't, other than the Night Stalker until that got introduced, they weren't that viable in PvE for helping the team. So that'll probably be my last class, Warlock, Titan, Hunter, like it was in Destiny 1. But I'm gonna play all the crap out of all the classes like I did.
Exactly, I'm the same way. So I feel that, dude. Yeah. I think Warlocks will be my last, but barely. Like, it's like, at this point, with all of these three coming back, every one of the classes is extremely viable in every situation. So I'm not really too worried about any of them feeling left out. But I guess that's a pretty good time to go ahead and switch over to what the Stormcaller is going to do. So his first path is called Attunement of Ions. He has Chain Lightning, which is deliver the Arc Strike with an extended range, and whenever you melee one target, it will chain to another. Then you have Transcendence. That's the one wherever you cast your super with full grenades and melee, your Stormcaller will last longer, and you get full health whenever you cast it. Arc Web, whenever you damage enemies with arc grenades, it will chain to other enemies. And then Ionic Blink is coming back. So that's very obviously the Crucible subclass. Anything there stand out to you guys?
No, it sounds a lot like Destiny 1.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty... Every one of those perks, I think the only difference, I'm sort of positive that whenever you melee someone with Stormcaller melee, it doesn't chain. Is that wrong?
They have one of the... I think... Actually, I'm a Stormcaller right now. Let me check. I'm pretty sure they have that perk.
Okay, yeah, it's... See, this is what I'm talking about. So this class is super...
Chain Lightning. Your Thunder Strike chains to another nearby enemy.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. And that's the weird thing. So that one is such a standard class, But this next one has one of the weirdest perks ever. So the next one's called Attunement of the Elements. So it has Gale Force. It's a melee with, again, extended range. And it recharges your super, grenade, and melee energy. But it doesn't say it does that whenever you get killed. So it just seems like whenever you melee people with your melee charge, you get more energy, which is crazy. Landfall is back. Rising Storm, your Rift charges faster when allies are near. And then the final one is the really weird one, Arc Soul. Your Rift now grants you or any ally who uses it an Arc Soul to aid you in battle. So anyone want to take a guess what the heck that means?
Ooh, I can.
Okay, do it, man.
So what I think it is when your Rift is out, anybody, like, how the oh goodness, what's the arc auto rifle?
Zalo
Supercell?
Supercell?
Supercell. Yeah, I think all your weapons will have that Supercell like chain lightning ability when you're shooting out of a rift. Is my guess.
Okay, that's not, I just don't know why you would call that arc soul. You know.
Well, I mean, I did like your thought, but like
What was my thought? I don't remember my
your
thought.
thought was when you're making the video, you said something like, "Does it create a duplicate of yourself?"
Oh, that would be cool. And I had another idea today where it's sort of like an acolyte eye that shoots electricity.
Oh, that would make sense too. But like,
yeah.
I don't think the duplicate will happen just because if there's like 6 people standing in that's 12 people.
Yeah, that's a lot of RAM. You're right. Yeah.
I don't think that. I don't know if it can handle that. So.
That's why I was thinking maybe like 6 acolyte eyes. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that would make sense. Plus, it would it would give you the ability to say put up a Titan barrier and duck behind it and have the acolyte eye shoot.
And they sort of look like souls, you know.
Well, that actually makes sense because they already have it programmed in Destiny 1, so they can just bring it over to your ability.
I'm sure acolytes in Destiny 2 can make it. Everyone else's ability is exactly the same. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I think that'd be pretty cool. But that's just so weird that like I was trying to say, like they kept one of the subclass trees exactly the same. It's like ripped straight out of Destiny 1. And then they go off making these weird perks on the other one, you know? It's strange. But I'm excited to try that out for sure. Jay-Z, you're going to have to give me footage of that so I can make a video on it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a second.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to start with the Stormcaller, though. I haven't decided yet which one I want to go with.
Well, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. Then we have the Sunbreaker Titan, Code of the Fireforged. Hammer Strike. While sprinting, use this melee ability to unleash a blazing hammer strike that weakens enemies. It says while sprinting, so I imagine that is a shoulder charge. Every subclass now has one for the Titan. Tempered Metal. Solar ability kills grant you and nearby allies bonus movement and reload speed. That's pretty cool. Battleforged. Enemy kills by Hammer of Soul explode, and the Vulcan's Rage. Hammer shatter into explosive molten embers on impact. So that just sounds like a PvE, or excuse me, a Crucible subclass once again. Anything interesting there for you guys, or?
I just hope the graphical look for when they explode and make all those shards and stuff. I hope that looks cool, because like there's one thing that I've liked graphically with Destiny 2 and the betas so far. I love all the particle effects. The particle effects have been like really good. So when as soon as I was reading it, I saw it said something like, I forget what they said exactly for when the hammers explode. What does it say?
It shatters into explosive molten embers on impact.
Molten embers. Like when I saw that, I was like, that's gonna have probably such a cool graphical effect.
Yeah, so probably.
I hope it looks pretty sweet.
Yeah. And then you have the last path, Code of the Siegebreaker, with Mortar Blast. Strike an enemy with this melee ability to release a solar explosion, setting nearby enemies on fire. Sun Warrior. Solar ability kills restore some of your health, and Grenade and melee ability kills leave a deadly sunspot on the ground. Rings of Fire. While standing in said sunspot, your solar abilities recharge faster and your super lasts longer. And then Solar Siege, now your hammers also make a sunspot, and while standing in them, you throw hammers faster. So it's essentially just bringing the sunspot build back from Destiny 1. So that's pretty cool. Nothing big there, but I think that is going to be the like the strike or PvE build per se.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But other than that, yeah, nothing really too interesting about that one. But for sure, like the Night Stalker is going to be amazing. I can't wait to get my hand on that. I really like some of the reworks they did. But overall, you guys satisfied with those? Everything seemed pretty balanced, just based on text, or what do you think?
Yeah, it seems balanced enough. I just have to see it in action.
Yeah.
Once I actually start playing with like the whole notion of unlocking a path and then switching between paths, then it also depends on like what kind of game are we gonna play. We still don't even know like what kind of gameplay we're gonna have. So like we're not. It's kind of hard to say like what builds are gonna be good or bad yet, because it's like you don't know like exactly what you're gonna be doing yet in the game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everybody has an idea of what Crucible is going to be like, but even there, we don't know what the meta is yet,
Yeah, exactly. But that's pretty much that. So real quickly, I want to touch on the Curse of Osiris leak. So if you guys don't know, there was a leak. Jason Schreier, who is always right, leaked that the next name of the December DLC is going to be the Curse of Osiris. It is going to feature a new patrol area and a new social area, and it will be Vex themed. So it's pretty cool. Pretty interesting. One thing I said in my video, I don't know if you guys watched it, I think, you know, Vault of Glass, in terms of aesthetics, is my favorite raid. You know, it's just, it looks great. If you guys don't know, Vex are silicon-based life forms, and that would make sense that they would just turn into glass, because glass is silicon dioxide. So it makes sense, like, from a sciencey standpoint. It's crazy from a lore standpoint. So I think taking everything they've learned from the 3 following raids and putting that back into arguably the most interesting and complex group of enemies in the game, I think that might just be absolutely freaking amazing. So I'm really excited to see that. What do you guys think? Yeah? No? Would you prefer a Hive raid?
Oh,
No.
no more Hive raid.
No. We had 2 of those. We don't need any more.
Yeah, no more. Honestly, when I saw Vex raid, then I saw Mercury patrol area.
Well, I just want to clarify, it was the potential for a Vex raid. That's not confirmed.
Right.
We don't even know that
Potential for
we're
Vex raid.
getting a raid, technically.
Mercury patrol area, and then the other thing that I know is not confirmed but has been speculated is that the lighthouse is going to be a social space.
No, that was confirmed. I was trying not to spoil that. Good job,
What?
Icono.
That's not confirmed.
Yeah, that's what Jason Schreier said. Yeah.
Well, okay, but what I'm saying is that this is from Jason Schreier's mouth, not from Bungie. So
Oh, yeah, none of that. We don't even know if the DLC is going to be called Curse of Osiris.
right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I hesitate to say that it's confirmed. It's just, you know, considering our source, it all but
It's confirmed. You know, it's there. We got it.
But the lighthouse as a social space is really cool to me, just because, you know, I'm lucky enough to be in this clan, and I play with Ratul, and he took me to my first lighthouse run, and I was able to see the lighthouse. And you know what? I'm gonna pat myself on the back, because he didn't carry me that hard. There were a couple of plays I made.
Welcome to the Icono's Modesty podcast with his co-host Jay-Z and Scaro9.
All I'm saying, my .80 kill death ratio was on point that trials. That's all I'm gonna say. I
was
was
rocking the
lucky-
3-3, man.
I was lucky enough, you know, as a PvE player to see the lighthouse, is my point.
Yeah.
And most PvE centric players never get to see the lighthouse. So having Curse of Osiris include the lighthouse as a social space, that like is really special, because the lighthouse is such a beautiful game area, and it's very cool. And if many people are going to be able to go in there on a daily basis, I just think that's cool. It gives people.
It better be expanded. You know,
Yeah, it's going to have to be.
Yeah,
Like,
White House is
vendors-
tiny.
Yeah,
It's not that tiny.
It's
So I
pretty
thought,
small.
when I originally saw it in year 1, year 1, I thought that with the next DLC they were going to make it a social space, because it was set up that way, because it looked like there were vendor spots and things like that. But there are walls that they could open up there as well.
Yeah. Maybe, man. Maybe. We'll see. So that's pretty much that. Anyone got anything else to say about that? Any other? No? I'm excited to learn about Osiris and time traveling and stuff. You know, Osiris was supposed to be training to replace the speaker in the lore. So maybe like the speaker dies in Destiny 2 and we're like, oh crap, now we need a replacement. Let's go get Osiris. You know?
Yeah, let's not go that far. I don't know if we're gonna kill off the speaker.
I just they can't kill off the speaker because no one cares about the speaker. Nothing would that would be the worst waste of a death ever, right? Because the purpose for killing off like people is to elicit an emotional response, and people would be like, "Good, he's gone. We never cared about him anyways." So it would be the wrong type of response.
Right.
If
If they want to do that, they have to kill off Cade 6.
No,
stop that garbage.
Hey man, you're saying elicit an emotional response. You guys just both proved my point, because the emotional response I heard when I said that was undeniable. Like
Cade
grief.
6
Like,
is too much of a fan
but there goes
favorite,
all
man.
their funny like trailers and stuff like that. That
Kill
sold the
Ikora.
game.
No one likes her.
Yeah.
Jeez, dude.
They
I
have
don't know, man.
they have Lance Reddick and Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
Then you have Ikora. I don't even know her voice actor. Oh man. See, you got. That's terrible, man. That's
No, like what I'm saying is, it's, he sells them too much of the product to.
Yeah, exactly.
get rid of
It's like how they'll never kill, or it would be dumb to kill Daryl on The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Like he's just too much of a fan favorite, dude. He brings in he's a cash cow, dog. It's like killing Gillian Anderson on X-Files, whatever her character's name is. I forget her name.
Did you say Gillian?
It's
Gillian. Gosh dang it.
No, it's
Jillian.
Jillian.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got a G.
You're thinking Gillian's demise, man.
Yeah, look at me.
Gillian's
man.
Island.
Yeah, Gillian's Island.
mixing genres like a boss with Scare 9. But it's my point, right? Like you have these cash cows, you're not going to go off and kill them unless you have to.
Yeah,
so.
and also like Nathan gives them mainstream access too, because like someone watching a Destiny commercial, which is exactly what happened to me at work. Is I had somebody walking by me at work when I was watching the trailer 54th time yesterday, and they were like, "Hey, is that Nathan Fillion?" And I'm like, "What? How did you pick that voice out?" He's like, "Oh, I know that." Fan of I don't even remember the name of the show.
Firefly?
No, yeah, Firefly was the movie, wasn't it?
No.
Firefly was a show and a movie.
No, Firefly wasn't the movie's name. It was Serenity. Was the movie's name.
Serenity.
Oh, that's right.
He was like Serenity is like my all-time favorite, and like I was like, yeah, I'm watching a trailer for a video game. He's like, oh, that sounds pretty sweet. So like that right there was proof to me that mainstream access that Nathan gives them, they can't give that up.
Yeah,
because they kind of had it with Peter Dinklage at first, but he got to be too big with Game of Thrones and stuff. So
then he just quit. He's like, I don't need this anymore.
Screw this. So
that's it's the same thing with Lance Reddick with Fringe, and he's been in a lot. Actually, Lance Reddick's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But
what's scary is that I don't know if you guys knew this, but Nathan Fillion was.
Wait, no, dude, you cut out. I didn't hear what you
cut
said
out. We
there.
missed that whole thing. Nathan Fillion, what?
Nathan Fillion was almost going to be in Civil War, I think, either Civil War or one of the other Marvel movies. He was going.
And there he goes again. Who was he going to be?
He was going to play Power Man.
Oh, that'd be so weird.
Yeah.
And that would give them. So I guess what I'm saying is that Bungie.
Wait a second, like Luke Cage, Power Man?
No, who was it? Is it Power Man? He's the guy that like. It's total Nathan Fillion. Like he's like cocky. He's a superhero. He has like a really stupid costume, and he thinks he's all that, but he's not really all that powerful.
Sounds like Doctor Strange, dude. I'm 99% sure Luke Cage is Power Man.
When stuff starts to go down, like he can't really help anybody. He like kind of like cowers in the corner, but he's like really popular. I can't remember. Like I think it is Power Man.
I don't think that's the wrong ethnicity, my friend.
No. I'm pretty sure it's Power Man. But anyways, I guess what I'm saying is that he was almost in a Marvel movie. Like they've got to like put him on a retainer of some sort. Like they got to get him to sign a contract. if he starts doing Marvel movies, it's like he's gonna get too big for Destiny, and next thing you know, no more Kate 6.
Yeah,
so,
I think Nathan Fillion loves nerd culture too much. It's like if you like Lance Reddick, like with Destiny 2, he's had such a huge like kind of like on his social media, he's always bragging about doing it. Like he actually loves doing it. And I think it's very similar for Nathan Fillion. I just don't think he's as public with it. He's always seemed like the type of guy to really like nerd culture to me. So, I don't know. I guess, we'll see, man. I don't know. But, so yeah, that's pretty much that. Was that?
Booster Gold. Thank you, Otaku.
Booster Gold.
That's exactly what it is.
I was trying to think who you were talking about.
I have no idea who Booster Gold is.
That's the point. He's not even supposed to be a big,
It's like if they bring Moon Knight into the freaking MCU.
And the scenes that they shot with him were like totally hilarious. There were like scenes of him like signing autographs and stuff, like really awkwardly, and like it was like, and then his scenes got cut from the movie, so we never actually got to see it. But they said that they left the door open, so like if they ever needed to use that character in the future, they will give him a call.
Well,
So
there
that's
you go.
what I'm saying. Bungie
Well,
needs
since
to,
it's a useless character, well, I've never heard of him, so I imagine he's like a C team character.
Yeah, he is.
Oh yeah.
So there you go. Yeah, because I was about to say, I still don't think he could be Power Man. I think there's a couple people would freak out if Hollywood cast Nathan Fillion to take that role. But
Awkward.
yeah, it's pretty much it, man. That's that's pretty much. Someone just said that's DC, not Marvel. It's Booster Gold DC. I don't know, man. I've never heard of him. I don't know DC. That makes sense to me. Say, is he DC, guys?
I don't know. I just know him from HeroClix.
Oh my god!
Heard
If
of
we weren't
that.
playing right now, I would start Wikipediaing this.
It's all good, man. It's all good. Yeah, for the puppies, like Cyber Dragon says. But yeah, that's pretty much the episode. That's all the community feedback and all that. A lot of good talks today. Yeah, pretty much. Anyone got anything else to say?
Nah, man. I mean, this
No.
is. I just want to say, I know that this is your podcast thing, and like this is on your YouTube channel and everything. So I just want to take a time to like thank all the people that come out literally every week. This is like our last episode for Destiny 1.
Yeah.
This is the last time that you're gonna watch us, doing this show playing Destiny 1, and I feel like this is like the closing of a chapter. This is like going to start a new chapter for the show.
I'll change it to season 2 on iTunes.
So yeah, I just want to say thanks to all the people that like come here like every week, because I see all the same names in the chat every week. So like that's pretty cool that people keep coming out to listen to us. Talk about Destiny.
Oh, by the way, on that note, the reviews on iTunes have been fantastic. So thank you guys for people who go over there and do that. I keep meaning to shout you guys out, but I keep forgetting because I'm an idiot. But yeah, I really do appreciate that. I know Jay-Z and Icono do too. If you haven't done that yet,
Yes.
there will be a link on Monday whenever we do the full show. If you can leave us a quick review, that would be amazing. It helps us out. If you like the show, we'd really appreciate it. But that was episode 32. So I've been Scaro9. You can find me Scaro9 on YouTube or at Scaro9 on Twitter. And then Icono and Jay-Z, you can do your things, man.
I am XX Iconoclast on Twitter and Xbox.
I am Jay-Z Basketball 25 on Twitter and Xbox as well.
Awesome. And if you guys are, listening on iTunes, if you're interested in catching the live recordings, we do these every Friday at 6:30 over on my YouTube channel. Now, I say every Friday on a weird week because next week Destiny 2 is launching, so we're not sure if we're going to have a show next week. I will post updates on my Twitter about that when I decide, when we find out. Just, it depends how the game goes, really. But it's been a pretty smooth episode. We had some internet problems or something. I have no idea. But hopefully it didn't distract too much from the quality of the show. But overall, like Icono said, I want to thank you guys for sticking with us throughout Season 1, Destiny 1. I'm going to do that now, by the way. It's totally going to do that.
I like it. I think it's cool.
But and heading into Destiny 2, I hope we have 3 to 4 more years of amazing episodes and then on to Destiny 3. So once again, thank you guys so much for coming out. And I guess we'll see you next show.
Peace.
Peace.